Welcome back to 3R Ballistics, and today we'll be reviewing the new to market Gunnr HPVO. Now, we could start with an unboxing. I can show you what lens cloth is provided. I can give you the weight in every spec that is printed on the paper. But to me, none of this is that important until I take it out to the range. I put it on a rifle and I get a few shots downrange looking through the optic. I am more of a practical use type of person. And that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this out to the range first. After I get some shots through this and get a good feel for it, then afterwards, when I come back from the range, we'll come back here. I'll give you the specs, I'll give you the hits, I'll give you the misses, I'll tell you my overall thoughts, and then we can go from there. Today we have another review on the Gunnr Optics. This is brand new to the market. This is their HPVO. It is a 6-24 by 50 millimeter. It's got a 30 millimeter main tube. And once again, like most of Gunnr's scopes, we're gonna check the clarity, the precision, and give it an overall review. I personally love shooting out to distance, and that's what we're going to do to this. Here we're at the range. We have over a mile if we really wanted to. I believe the specs for the Gunnr only show 20 MOA of elevation, so we'll have to hold over if we do decide to go to 1200 yards or so. And those of you out there are probably wondering, what the heck is that cheek riser, or what is that? Well, instead of putting something like a trigger cam or something that changes the optical, I decided to try to get a DSLR camera to fit in behind. And these are the innovative things we do for you guys to give you the best idea of the clarity of this glass. But I'm gonna go and show you what 100 yard looks like. We have a piano key there. It's 1 inch by 3 inch. I'll show you the clarity of that. We're gonna go out to 500 yards. And then we're going to take this out back and we're going to go to 1,000, 1,200 yards, and I'll go over each one as we go there, see if the adjustment is enough for what we need, but let's go from there. Okay, so I am going to do my best to show you what I see through the scope and where we're at and what it looks like. So right here, this is the sight in. We are at 6 power. We are at 100 yards. We are looking at, I guess you could see right here where I was sighting in, and the piano key is right over here. So if we zoom in, we'll say we'll go half, we'll go 12 power. And here, the reticle comes up a little bit better. You can see the let me move, adjust this. There you go. You can see the target a little bit better. And then we go up to 24. And at 24 now, let me get back on target. Where am I? Okay, so here you can see what I saw when I was sighting it in. Right there, started a little low right, walked it in. But what amazes me is that right there. That is 1 inch by 3 inches. That is our piano key, a precision target at 100 yards. And you can see it easily. Now back to 6 power. What I like is the clarity out to, so here you can see 100, 200, 300, 400, and then out to 5. Now let me adjust the parallax. There's 500, 6 power. At 12 power, what you have on the left is a 66% silhouette target. Then you have a 10 by 10 inch square, a 5 by 5 inch square, and then what we call a flag. It's a 3" by 5". And wow, this shows the clarity right here. Whoa. So we're at 12 power, and I had to repaint these targets, and I ran out of paint, so I put the spray can up there. And if you zoom in even more, whoa. Wow. You can see that can. And sorry, it's hard to go between the back of this camera . Okay, so here we go. We're gonna try a shot from behind the scope. Now there is a light on the silhouette, but here we go. Oh man. That time the mount came off, but we got it. We got it. As the rain starts coming in, that's kind of crazy. Okay, so we have moved back 450 yards from where our first shooting position was. We're kind of getting some break in the clouds, still hit and miss with the sun, but I wanted to show, we're going to go ahead and go back to here. And so right here is 950 yards at 12 power. Now, let's get that guy up to 24 power, and as you can see, amazingly clear. Amazingly clear. Once again, that paint can is somewhere in that area. Looking from behind the camera, it's a little bit hard to see, but I think it's somewhere in there. And after what happened at the 500, we are not going to try to stay behind this shooting. I'm still going to bring you with me, but we are going to be going over, let me zoom back out a little bit. Let me see, 500, we are going to go over here, and that is 1100 yards. And you can see I took a shot already, and you can see where our hit is at 1100 yards. So absolutely amazing. Let me make sure it's zooming in on there. I believe it is. I cannot see again. But I'm going to take this camera off. I'm going to put it next to us, and we're going to see how well we could do with this. All right. Okay. So we'll be attempting 1100 yards straight in front of us. There is virtually no wind. Sun keeps coming in and out. But I did find the first thing that I would like to see changed if possible. The specs say that this has 20 MOA of adjustment. I was only able to get 19. That could have been because when I zeroed, I had to dial up and then put the zero stop. Either way, I am going to have to hold over because my ballistic app is calling for 30 MOA of elevation, and I only have 19, so I'll have to hold over 11 and hopefully see what we get. So let's go ahead and take our first shot. Holding over, I wish I could, this is where I would almost like to have a trigger cam, but I do not. So let's see how close we get on this first one. There you go. 1,100 yards. I think I could get it if I go prone. Okay, we have switched to prone. We are testing out the Gunnr 6 to 24, 1,100 yards. We're using the 7mm PRC, the Ruger American 7mm PRC. We're using Hornady ELDX 175 grain, 1,100 yards. We are having to hold over, but I can see this thing like it is nothing. So let's see what we can get. Just above it is what it looked like. Okay, so I should be chronoing these, but I'm not. Okay, next shot. There we go. Okay, now we know where we're hitting. Okay, and for those that are curious, this was the setup I had. That is the camera I was using to get the 1,100 yard shots. And 1,100 yards was, yeah, somewhere way over there. Okay. So we're back from the range, and I gotta say, 3 out of 4 at 1,100 yards. One from a tripod, which is actually meant for camera, not very stable. That one surprised me. And then the next two from prone position within, you know, a 10-inch circle. I gotta say, that's amazing to be able to see the hits and the clarity with this. But for those of you that have stayed till the end, you probably want to know the specs. So let's go over some of this. This is made from an aluminum alloy. So the weight comes in right around 30 ounces. It's a first focal plane, and like I said, 6 to 24 with a 50mm, and a 30mm main tube. You know, it's got illumination, red illumination, with 6 different settings on there. It has locking turrets, and each click that you click is 1/8 of an MOA, which is completely different than anything I have used before. The windage adjustment is 20 MOA, left or right, seems fine. Elevation adjustment, 20 MOA. We'll go over that. It has parallax settings from 10 yards all the way to infinity, basically, and they're pretty true. Those amazed me. Okay, now that we've gone over the specs, I do also want to mention that when we went back 450 yards and we started focusing at 950 and 1,100 yards, I did notice in editing that the camera had focused more on the reticle than on our targets. So even with what you saw on the camera, the clarity was even better through the scope. And that's saying a lot. I mean, it was clear. I have been behind some very, very good glass, and this is right up there with them. All that being said, let's go with the hits and misses. Hits, clarity, like I said, very, very clear, picks up target acquisition. You're able to pan even through shadows and still see very minute details. I loved it. I actually love the reticle. It's a little bit lighter, but for precision shooting, it's not as busy. It doesn't take up as much of your field of view. And with all that being said, let's go into the misses. Number 1, 20 MOA of elevation adjustment is not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it at all. Their LPVO has 170 MOA of elevation adjustment. and their HPVO has 20. That needs to change. For precision shooting, just it won't cut it. If that's a deal breaker for you, I understand. The other thing is the 8th click MOA. Each click is an 8th. I don't believe that's needed. That's a little overkill, and even at 1100 yards, I don't think if you had the elevation to use that it would be necessary. So quarter click MOA adjustment is fine. I would like to see a larger tube diameter just for field of view. Is that a deal breaker? Not at all. So with all that, what are my overall thoughts? I still love it. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna stay on this. This is more a hunting rig. I probably won't be shooting to 6, but if I am, you know, instead of having to glass certain areas, sometimes I like keeping it on a tripod and just using the rifle. And I gotta say, the clarity is amazing, even out to 2 miles. We didn't get any footage of that, but it is crisp and clear. Like I said, I've been behind some of the Night Force, the Zeiss, Swarovski, a lot of these nice scopes, and this is right up there as far as the clarity. Now, I am not exactly sure. I haven't been told where the price point is on this. This could be a budget-friendly rig or not. That will be out soon. But I am still amazed that this little package was able to really show me a difference. I took some other scopes out there. We won't put names or anything, but we have some other 6 to 24 by 50s that we compared them against, budget friendly and even higher end, and clarity by far. Your winner was right here. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys coming along. I still think this is a great scope. We'll see what they come out with. Generation 2, I mean, should have more adjustment. Even in, this is pre-production, so even going forward, they may have made adjustments to it already. So for all those that are still here, until the next one.